What's up, guys? Today we're here with
What's up, man? It's your boy Yungcameltoe, man.
all right, I'm John. This is my first interview. This is my first interviewer, and Witz, I have a couple questions for you.
Cool.
So one of my first questions is, you use samples on your songs, right? Like on some of your songs,
I do. Yeah.
and you use some like you create your own beats too, right?
No, I
Oh,
don't.
you don't?
Every single beat I use is a free for profit beat that I get on SoundCloud or YouTube.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
All right. So when you choose those beats, those samples,
Mm.
what comes in your mind? Like, what do you think about it? Like, what's the first thing that comes in your mind?
Yo, honestly, I just look for free for profit instrumentals that make my head slowly bop. Like if I feel it and I start bopping to it, I'm like hit download and start rapping on
That's
it.
good. All right. So, on most of your songs, you also have like a comedic vibe to it,
Mhm.
uh, which kind of reminds me of how like some of the Odd Future songs were created.
Yeah.
Would you say that they were your inspiration to you, or was there some other people too, in general, not just in the music industry, that made you have those comedic songs?
I mean, when I first started rapping, it was Little B. Like I was listening to Little B. I was out in Germany and I was like, bruh, he just bought a mic and he has a laptop and he's just making music and putting out stuff. So that's how it started. The inspiration was Little B. I always liked how MF Doom could just flow and just say like the most crazy things at the same time. So honestly, I was listening to like Little B and MF Doom when I was rapping. And then I came across Odd Future later when a lot of people were like, hey man, you sound like Tyler the Creator, Earl Sweatshirt. And I'm like, who is they? So I started listening to them and I'm like, oh shit, they lit. So I didn't even know about Odd Future when I first started rapping. I just came across it because people was just like, hey, bro, you sound a lot like these people. Are you sure you're not an Odd Future? I'm like, what the fuck is an Odd Future? So I checked it out. I'm actually a really big Earl Sweatshirt fan now, though, because I mean, like, I feel like our flows are very similar. I think his flow is
Yeah,
way better. I think his flow is way better, and I aspire to get my flow up there. But hell yeah, I fuck on him.
yeah. Because when I first listened to you, you kind of reminded me of Earl Sweatshirt as well too. I'm like, yeah, he kind of sounds like him. And at first, I'm like, yeah, like you. I thought you were like related to him. I don't know why, but I thought you were related to him like somehow. I'm like, you know what? He sounds like him. He has to be like a little brother or something.
Yeah. I mean, I also released a track called Earl Sweatshirt is my brother. I got a
Yeah,
lot of people confused, but
yeah.
no, I just meant flow wise.
Have you ever met Earl Sweatshirt before?
I have not,
Yeah.
bro. I have never met any of them. Let's see. I met Flavor Flav once. I met Rare.
So right here is where I messed up a little bit. I I don't know what happened. I think I might have pressed like the unrecorded button on accident. But the next question was about what the first part and the second part of the end of Dervitz meant. Because the first part obviously meant that he might have been like heartbroken or something. And the second part, it seems like he's daydreaming about this girl who has a big booty and she's a she's a Cupid in love. And I asked him what that meant, and he just said that he went out with this one girl and he thought he could do better, but then later on he moved on to another girl who was his dream girl, but she was a little high maintenance. So she wasn't everything he dreamed of, but he just said that you can't get everything you want. And at some point, there's something like a deal to it. There's something tied to it. And then on the next question, I just asked him who was his biggest inspiration, and he just said that Low Beat was his inspiration. That Anna Rose Sweatshirt because they when he first started rapping, it just made him click. It, that's when he first found out about rapping, and he just fell in love after. And then I asked him where did the name Yungcameltoe come from, and where did it like originate? And he just said that him and his friends that used to always play Pokemon back in elementary, and when they were playing basketball in elementary, one of his friends said, "Suck my camel toe," once he would make a shot, and he just thought it was funny because it was just like camel toe, and then at that around that time and age, everyone was like making like young names, like Young and Lil. So he just made a name called Yungcameltoe, and he just thought it was funny, and everyone else thought it was funny, so it just gave like a comedic vibe to it. And then I just asked him if he can explain the picture of his album cover, and on the ninth day, God created Yungcameltoe, and if he can explain more what it means, because I was a little confused on what it meant too. And he just simply explained that that's how he sees God, because obviously everyone has their own ways, and uh, like how Christians and Catholics see God and how they have their own God. And this is how Witz, Yungcameltoe, Emmanuel Wright, and Earl Sweatshirt, little brother, saw God. That's how he imagined it, and that's what he thinks God is, how God really is. It's just this galaxy figure who can create anything. He is everything and anything in the world around you. He's just everything. And then the next question is that I asked him, what was, what would be something besides rap and music that you would do if it didn't come to this point? And he just said that easily he would have probably done auditioning because, or like no, acting, my bad. He would have done acting because he loved doing acting. He loved the how he could be a different character, and yeah, that he would only want to do like special like side. He wouldn't be like a main character. He just wanted to do something else that was wacky and silly. He just like he wanted to be a cat. Like that was an example. Like he wanted to be a cat, just a random cat roaming around and just being itself, not like in a not part of the movie, just himself. And that's like that also got me to questioning about the Yungcameltoe character, like if it was a character. And he just said that it was just like an alter ego of some sort, and that it was just something that Dervitz, the character, and Yungcameltoe were the opposite. How, like explained in the end of Dervitz, how it seems like he's heartbroken. It's just the end of him. Like he's just sad, mellow, and with Yungcameltoe, he was just something like, you know what, I'm gonna do my own thing. You do you, Dervitz. Like I'm just gonna do this while you do that because I'm just a positive type of character in person. So that's what it kind of brought into. And then he said, if there, and I asked him on that. I asked him, if there's one person that he would want to collaborate with in like in any of the music industry. He said Earl Sweatshirt easily because he believes that, no, not he believes, I also believe in that they both would have made a good track because they both, personality wise also, they both are very similar and have a unique flow, and especially of both of them actually rapping about whatever they want and just saying stuff whatever they want without being judged by, and they could just say anything and they wouldn't care about anyone what they say based on their opinions, which I also really I respected, and I also agreed with too. Like I really liked how he was, and yeah, I liked how Emmanuel explained that. And then I asked him what Dervitz meant and would it originate, and this was the last question, by the way. And and I told him that it means the joke in German, but how did it come into place? And he just said that he was in Germany for a couple of months, and uh, him and his friends were at like a rapping spot, and how they would just like make like weird rhymes and funny raps and freestyles. And one of his friends said, "Hey, this is my homie Dervitz," and he just like he didn't even know what Dervitz stand for either. So he just that's what he just said, and that was the end.
I really liked him. He was a good dude. He's a good guy. I love Witz, Yungcameltoe, Emmanuel, right? Whatever you want to call him. I'm glad I had him as my first interviewer. He's a really great guy. He's just really positive. He made me feel really comfortable because I was really nervous when starting the interview. I feel like I felt a little awkward too, and I noticed that he was just. I feel like he noticed that I was being a little nervous too, so he brought positivity towards me, and I really appreciate that. So thank you, Witz, Emmanuel, right? Yungcameltoe, whatever you like to be called. You're an awesome person, and I thank you.
Sembri proprio uno di quegli angioletti che ci sono nei quadri delle chiese. Te l'hanno già detto, eh?
No.
Perché ridi?
Così. Allora posso rimettere la musica?
Sì.
Vote for me in next election. Power gives me an erection in your chick's direction. She smiles back, titties flexing, finna bang her like a Smith & Wesson. Bang